tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Monday, October 24th, 2022. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Even if you're not a huge baseball fan, on a certain level, you probably know that upsets tend to happen once we get to October. And that's been especially true thus far for this year as well. And even though we typically don't see that level of unpredictability in bodybuilding, this could end up being one of those years that's more primed for upsets than usual, which would open up the door for someone like Tonio Burton to come in and be a huge disruptor. It's probably not fair to say that he's flown under the radar this year because he's definitely caught people's attention. But truth of the matter is that we haven't seen someone go from the 212 class into the open class and have this much success in less than 1 year in quite some time, or maybe never. And technically, that includes Derek Lunsford too, because he hasn't competed in the open yet. Tonio still has some ground to make up as far as his size is concerned, but everything else is there. So if he really nails his conditioning, I think there's a world where we can see him crack the top 10 at this year's Olympia. More often than not, most people are their own worst critics, and figuring out how to manage that negative self-talk is a huge hurdle that I see every athlete deal with at some point in their career. But on the flip side, when they do figure it out, learning how to channel that into something positive becomes their superpower. And the last thing anyone in classic physique should want to see is someone like Breon Ansley leveling up as he shifts into the second half of his Olympia prep. Right now, 8 or so weeks out from his last time on a classic physique Olympia stage, there's a certain degree of free and loose energy flowing out of Breon's camp. And the net result is that he looks bigger and leaner than he's been at any point in his career. It feels like this year's version of Breon is going to be the best that we've seen on a lot of different levels. And at the end of the day, with this mindset, the placings on the scorecards only hold so much weight because he knows that he's going to come out a winner no matter what happens. I'm not sure how true this is, but I remember reading once that the IQ of a chess grandmaster is estimated to be an average of 180, which would be by far the highest average score for any profession or occupation. And it makes sense when you think about it. Chess is a game that's all about strategy and pattern recognition that keeps you constantly searching to find a way to take advantage of a weakness in your opponent. So, in a roundabout way, that makes chess and bodybuilding about the same, which means that Hassan Mustafa is playing the role of grandmaster given how he's made his moves on the board so far this season. Not only did he come into the year with a well thought out strategy, he also executed it to perfection. And he even had enough sense to pivot heading into the Arnold UK after it became clear that he had more to lose than he did to gain there, which might end up being a smart move in hindsight if it gave an opportunity to pull it all together as he heads into his first Mr. Olympia. Up to this point, everything he's done has gone according to plan, which means that the only thing left for him to do now is knock down the rest of the pawns on his way to the top 10. And our last update of the day is a potential happy trails to the giant Jamie Christian, who announced that he was planning to step away from competitive bodybuilding last week on his YouTube channel. In a long, heartfelt post, Jamie was pretty open in discussing the toll that his competitive career took on his family and his business, along with voicing some frustrations that he had with the judging and some of the placings at his shows this year. From what it's worth, if you're a Jamie the Giant Christian fan, he didn't completely rule out possibility of ever stepping on a stage again, and despite his frustrations, the 2022 season has been far and away the best year of his competitive career. And with a little bit of time, there's always the possibility that he needs to scratch that itch once again. But if this really is the end, we should all wish him the best because the ride was fun while it lasted. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.